Hey guys, welcome back to another week of me trying to be profitable and earn a payout. And this week was pretty quick, and honestly, I've just been performing pretty ass recently. Been making quite a few mistakes while trading, which is alright. Mistakes are normal to make, and I'm still learning. And I'm sure even when I'm starting to pull money out, I'm still going to be making mistakes from time to time. But yeah, this week was one where I didn't perform my best, so let's just get straight into this week's trades. Alright, going into Monday, we seem to be respecting bullish so far, as we had a positive reaction off of this 4-hour fair value gap. We're also about to form this fresh 1-hour order block, which we could look to retest into. And later, we were following the same with price developing bullish confluences and respecting them. It was still quite early to tell the direction that I want to go in there, so I'm going to wait for something more clear to show up. Going into the setup, we ended up getting a shift low on the 1 minute, which is where I started to look for an entry. Price ended up retesting a 1 minute fair value gap and actually respected it, and we even had a bearish response from it, which is where I decided to enter. Price was holding pretty decently at the start, and you can see I messed up my sizing a lot. I did manage to fix it in the end though, so it's all good. And price did end up pushing higher though, so we were stalling while respecting the 1 minute balances, so I reckon we could still hold that. Okay, nah, never mind. And what I could have done better today was analyzing the chart more carefully. I did notice the very obvious 15-minute fair value gap and 5-minute order block, which price was accumulating above and respecting. I also got too caught up in looking for price to retest the 1-hour order block and 5-minute fair value gap, and that caused me to miss out on these things. Since I did wait for confirmation and entered mechanically for what was an A+ setup to me at the time, I was very confident in the setup and I accepted all the risk for this trade, so honestly I'm not too pressed about the loss. I'm just going to learn from it and move on. Alright, today seemed to be pretty bullish, just like yesterday, with us respecting this 4-hour fair value gap and 1-hour order block. I want to align the trade today with the sentiment, so I'll be looking for alignments on the low time frame as well. Looking at the low time frame, we did seem to be aligning with high time frame context, as we're currently respecting this 15-minute and 5-minute order block for bullish. We did also have this wick sweep of delay, which shows that we have potential to move higher. Going into this setup, we had a respect of a 5-minute order block from the new 5-minute candle formation. Price also ended up tapping the 5-minute highlight corner zone and accumulated above it, getting a shift higher after a little bit. We formed a 1-minute inverse fair value gap and ended up retesting into it, respecting the imbalance, which is why I entered it into the setup. The setup was the most A+ of A+ you could get, as the high time frame and low time frame were aligned, and there were plenty of highs that we could target. There was even an SMT. The price ended up balancing down and stopped us off for a loss of 240. And for today, honestly, I didn't have much to say. The setup was A+, and I followed my plans and rules. I executed it when it formed, and I had high conviction in the setup overall. I know that not every day will be a winner, and I also accepted the risk when entering into the setup, so honestly, I'm really happy with today. Alright, going today, we did have FOMC news, which meant that I would be more discretionary today. We had this 4-hour inverse fair value gap above, which was untapped, which could be a potential target, though we were retesting into this 1-hour order block with bearish, which shows that we could react off of this imbalance first. Zooming into the low time frame, we seemed to be pretty chopped, with us pushing deeper into the 1-hour order block currently with this 5-minute breaker. We did have LRL stage side, which provided some decent targets. Going to the setup, I actually realized that we were continuing to push higher with us forming a new 5-minute order block and respecting it. Price also retested the discount zone of the 5-minute highlight range and had a nice reaction candle from it, which is why I decided to enter into the setup. Initially, it was really scary as price was pushing down with strong bearish power, though we ended up reversing just barely at the right time, which saved my ass. We ended up sweeping the SMT formation, which is where I decided to move to break even, as we had also tapped the 15-minute fair value gap, and price ended up coming down shortly after to stop us out at break even. And for today, what I could have done better was waiting patiently for a better entry. Instead of using the volume candles, I could have waited for the fair value gap to form and wait for an inverse where I can then take the setup with more confidence. The rest of the reward would have been the same, though the difference is that I would have hit my target prior to market open, would have not stopped me out at break even. So the main thing I want to work on right now is my timing when getting into these setups and giving myself more space to breathe in the future, especially when they're high conviction and have plenty of great confluences backing them up. Looking at the high time frame today, we were at all-time highs again, with us currently retesting this new 1-hour order block. Since we were at all-time highs, I did want to see a continuation higher, as the overall sentiment does feel more bullish. Coming into the low time frame, we had actually shifted lower and inversed this 1-hour order block, creating a breaker. We had also inversed these low time frame balances, which I felt we could either target for longs from the retest or wait for a price to retest into these imbalances and go for the short. The retracement play seemed to be more likely though, as we're nearing our trading time with price still holding below. And going into the setup, honestly, this was really bad. I saw that price had inversed a 5-minute fair value gap, and we ended up also shifting higher with another 1-minute inverse fair value gap too, which made me decide to take this setup. What I failed to recognize in the current moment though was that volume really wasn't there, and we had already hit our target for longs anyways, and this made the setup really bad to take in the moment, and yeah, I got stopped out really quickly for a loss of 200. And for today, I was too hasty and I kept too stuck onto the bias. I didn't adapt to the current market and ended up taking a very bad setup. Realistically, I shouldn't have traded today, as price action was just not that great, especially for my model, but yeah, cooking myself recently, just not taking the best setups that I can, but I will go back and reflect to try to do better. Alright, so that about does it for this week. Honestly, a pretty shit week for me, all things considered. I wasn't performing my best, and honestly, I'm not sure what it is. Perhaps I'm keeping some expectations deep down, which makes me force setups on days where I don't need to. I also go for setups either too early or too late, which leads to me either getting break even or stopped out. It's also pretty stressful recently with work and assignments too, as well as personal life, so yeah. I do feel like the struggle is real, but I go to work regardless. I'm gonna make the show work no matter what. I need to adapt more efficiently to market changes so I can perform better. But yeah, otherwise that's about it for this week. So if you guys are interested, check out me and my friends. Discord is just a chill place for everybody to talk and grow as traders, and we're all on the same path to become the traders that we want to become. So join up if you guys are keen. But yeah, that's about it for this one. So I'll see you guys in the next video.